So we're going to talk about ratios now, and let's just talk real quickly. I think we should all know what the word ratio means, and that is a comparison of two quantities. And you may be asking yourself, what do Florida and Georgia fans, triangles, and hairbands have in common? The answer? Nothing. So let's look at a very simple ratio here. On the left, we have Alyssa's hairbands, and on the right, we have Georgia's hairbands. Now, as you can see, Georgia has twice as many as Alyssa. So ratio, if we were to say for Georgia to Alyssa, we would say Georgia has 2 to 1 hairbands. For this example, I'm going to have you figure out the ratio of white to blue tiles in the figure. So first we would start counting up the whites, and we would say 1, 2, 3 white triangles. Then we would count the blues and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and say 6. Now I would write this as a fraction and then simplify, getting a ratio of 1 to 2. So if this pattern was continued for 900 tiles, how many tiles would be white? One way of solving that is to set up a proportion and say that we had a ratio of 1 to 2 and that we want to know how many out of 900. To solve this proportion, we would cross multiply and we would get 2x equals 900. We would then need to get x all by itself, so we would divide by 2. We would get x equals 450. Now what does x represent? That's the number of white tiles, so therefore 450 tiles would be white if we were to continue this pattern out for 900. Finally, we're going to find out what the Florida Georgia fans have to do with anything that I'm talking about. Well, as you can see, the Florida fans are all cheering and look very happy, and the Georgia fans aren't. Now, as we all know, Georgia has won the 2011 and 2012 Florida-Georgia games. But now let me show you the record for the past 20 games. As you can see, Florida has won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of those games. Georgia has won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those games. Let me write that as a ratio. Florida has 15 wins. Georgia has 5 wins. Put that as a fraction, would be 15 to 5. Now let's simplify that. And that would mean that Florida has a 3 to 1 ratio of winning the Florida-Georgia game.